This video shows how to use Foottroller to play SteamVR games. So first you have the Foottroller connected. So it shows connected. So there's a tip if it's you have paired and it's not automatic connected. You can just switch it off and turn it on the Bluetooth, and the connection will be made. So you don't need to do the pairing again. If you check the USB controller properties, if you can use Foottroller to control the joystick movement in the full four-way movement control method. But to play SteamVR games, you cannot use this generic joystick input because somehow the binding with generic joystick or gamepad won't work in Steam VR games. So basically the input will not be able to control the game movement. You cannot do the binding properly. So to solve that problem, we actually need to use the provided driver for SteamVR, and so you can find a driver folder, the SteamVR, oh, Steam app, and here SteamVR drivers Foottroller. This is the driver we provided. You copy it to this folder, and so basically go to the input. The driver does two things. One is it makes the input Foottroller input available to SteamVR, and so if you launch SteamVR in Steam, and so this icon shows the driver is working, and the SteamVR is as the controller registered. And to send the data from Foottroller to this driver, we need to run the provided app, Foottroller Monitor PC app. So at this point, you can do the four-way movement control, and you can see the joystick input change. So just leave it there, and to verify the working in SteamVR, you can check the setting and controllers. So this test controller will allow you to test all the available controllers. So we have the Oculus Quest, left hand, right hand. Also, this is our Foottroller user treadmill, and there's the ID of the Foottroller, so you can actually control with your foot the position of the Foottroller input joystick, and so this now the Foottroller is available to the SteamVR system, but for games to play games, you need binding of the control with for the game control with the Foottroller, but do not use the binding options in with the SteamVR GUI. So we actually need the so as you can see, you can do binding for the available games and here, but this actually won't work. You don't use it. That's important. What we do is we put the driver, the binding file configuration in the driver, and so driver folder back here. So there are two kind of bindings. So this is a legacy binding. That's if the game, some game just use legacy binding. You don't need a game specific binding. So such game like the BAM Squad, so you can play the game, use Foottroller without just use the legacy binding. It's all set up as a joystick, and it's bound to the left X value. So in some games, you can just use this binding to play the game, control the movement. But for most other games, that's you need a specific binding. So these are the bindings for different games, and if you put in this driver folder, and it will be loaded, and we'll start the game. And also here's a binding profile, which the controller profile, which define the binding files for different games. Like so, you these two parts configure the game binding for the SteamVR games, and so use let's say use VR chat as an example. If you check the VR chat and make sure here there's a so-called Steam input. Don't use it. This Steam input need to be disabled. Otherwise, the control may not work properly. For other games, actually, you need to create this control binding file and first. So, like for example, the VR chat, if you search the setting, make it work. Here is yeah, it's here, right? It's action move choose as source with Foottroller. This is the Foottroller control source. So for the other game, it's similar. So you need to find this template binding JSON file for the controller and modify it to put this Foottroller information in the file for movement control. So it's all similar. How to obtain a template file like this? So for a game, actually, you can go to the setting, binding setting here. Go to customer. You can see edit this binding. Actually, you can save the binding file, and it'll be on your local machine, so you can find the binding file in this document, and SteamVR input. So it is uh, the binding file template you can use and modify this accordingly and put it in a Foottroller driver folder uh, for the game mapping the game binding the game control. And also after you have the binding file modified, yeah, you should add the binding file to this controller profile for controller and with this following these examples. Uh, so that's basically how you add a new game bindings for the Foottroller to play it in SteamVR. But important is um, do not use the binding configuration uh, in the SteamVR GUI because most of the time it won't work. You need to put the controller binding file here and load it as a driver with the driver for controller, so it will work. And
Here we show an example of how the binding should look like after a game is loaded.
yes, see, make sure when the game is loaded, it's will use the current binding as the official binding published by the developer for this game. So that's good. So that will work. So don't use the so this only will show up the official binding will only show up after the game started. You can check this in this binding configuration GUI. So it shows the official bindings. So the official bindings correspond to the binding configuration from the drivers folder. So yeah. You can use Foottroller to control the movements in game. So the binding works